Guys, let's be honest. We all know someone who smokes, or in more recent years, who vapes. Look, it's a nasty habit, and it's very hard to break. That's why you gotta check out our new sponsor, Fume. Fume is a natural inhaler designed for a better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, and no nicotine replacement for the hand-to-mouth habit of smoking. Fume handcrafts wooden inhalers and uses cores infused with plant oil studied to curb cravings. They have flavors like peppermint and conker with minty notes to simulate menthol cigarettes, and other flavors like cozy chai and lemon berry bliss for a sweeter experience. They're 100% natural, no harmful chemicals, no artificial flavors, and absolutely no nicotine. I don't smoke, but I was able to share Fume with my Aunt Paulette, and she was blown away by how much it helped with the cravings. Quitting is tough, but Fume really can help with thousands of 5-star reviews. Guys, give it a try. Head to breathefume.com/Chael. Use the promo code Chael to save 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order when you go to breathefume.com/Chael. Make sure you use the promo code Chael. Paddy the Baddy. Look, guys, Paddy and the weight has to stop. It's got to come to a screeching stop. And the only one that can stop it is Paddy. For some reason, this is interesting to reporters, right? That was a real story when Paddy went from 155 pounds to 200 pounds. That was a real story because he did it in like 6 days and he took cameras around with him and they showed everything that he ate. It's got to stop. First off, it's not interesting. And Paddy the Fatty doesn't make you a clever guy, by the way. And for Paddy to continue to be painted by the same, I read an article today, but I've read one every single week since the first piece came out about how Paddy likes to eat, not show up to practice and take his eye off the ball for a couple of weeks after a fight. It was interesting then. It's not now. It's got to stop. There's too many interesting things for Paddy. There's too many. Where does he go? Who is he going to fight? What's going to be next? Are we doing the Dana plan and we're bringing him back, bringing him out to the East? Put him in Boston, put him in MSG, take him to Vegas, move him over to pay-per-view. Like, there's too many interesting things. The fact that none of the top guys call him out, none of them. Paddy's talking about, I can't get in there with ranked opponents. Ranked opponents aren't trying to get in there with Paddy. And Paddy hasn't fully served himself. For Paddy to come out and say a name would be helpful. Either way, the Paddy and the weight has got to stop. It makes him look foolish. It really does. Eventually, that's going to bite you in the ass. And now people are going to say, and they're going to explain it. He wasn't disciplined. He eats too many donuts. It's just weird. The whole thing is weird. It's very nerdy. What a guy eats or if he likes jelly donuts, it's just a weird thing to talk about. And you'll do that when you have nothing else. But when you're as interesting of a guy, when you're a character with so much substance, when you have the potential in the future and the projections of Paddy the Baddy, get it over there. Get the topic over there. Quit telling people what you eat. He wants to know what you weigh. Ask him what he weighs. It's one of those. Stop. There's nothing interesting about this. It's actually quite silly. Now, Paddy does play along with it. That's what I'm encouraging to stop. Stop answering these questions. Stop playing along. What a guy weighs is not interesting, and it never has been. In the history of time, you've never seen a TV show on now. Let me show you what this guy weighs. Shut up. If you weren't interested and it's all you've got and it's all people will talk about, okay, fine. But if you get some nerder reporter that thinks that it's interesting that you bumped up a few kilos, like I'm really encouraging you. You've got to stop this. Who you're going to fight next, why you're going to fight him, why it matters. Paddy came out and he was talking about it. He was just open. Paddy's always open when they ask him this. I'm encouraging him to not be. I'm encouraging him to shove it up your ass. It's not interesting. Ask me something about fighting. It's my encouragement. I don't know if I'll get my way. But when Paddy got asked about this, he said, yeah, you know, my weight goes. I like to let it go. He called it chub rub. I like to have some chub rub in between fights. Okay, I can live with that. My coach, Clayton Heyer, thought that you have to gain weight after a fight. He wanted to see your first day into training camp heavy. So he wanted to have something to work with that he could actually see as you start to get in shape and you start to get more fit. He liked that. So I don't turn on Paddy. But Paddy did make one statement, and he said, I realize that's not a game, the yo-yo, that's not a game that I can continue to play. I realize that doesn't have longevity. And that was good. I was happy to hear Paddy say that. And he said, once I start fighting ranked guys, I will stop doing that. That part bothered me. That part was where the immaturity's coming in. Nothing in life works out that way, right? I'll start paying taxes once I start making more money, right? It's one of those things. I'll quit drinking after this weekend's party. Like, that never works. If there is something that Paddy has identified, Paddy thinks him gaining weight and him coming down, he's got the Clayton Hires approach. Okay, we're all done here. But that's not what he said. He said that he does believe that it's a bad thing. And that when the time is right, he'll stop doing it. Is Paddy a hard fight? Can we agree with that? If Paddy was watching this, I'll just ask him about himself. Paddy, are you a hard fight? He's going to say, yeah, I'm a hard fight. Okay, Paddy, are you ranked? No. Okay. So now we've really successfully achieved a goal of proving that your ranking versus your difficulty are not the same thing. What do you want from these top-ranked guys? You want an opportunity is what you want, but for some reason we all buy into the idea that if you're a top-ranked guy, you can just stay in your little elitist club. The top 5 guys fight number 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. What about the other guys? How do they get up there? How do they get up there if we're going to accept that as a community? We can't accept it. Not to mention, it's not true. I don't think Mark Madsen is ranked. Bo Nickel is not ranked. Until this time last year, Khamzat Chimaev was not ranked. We got to have the rankings. But I remember where I was the day that it came out. It was 2012, and I was in what we call the green room, the avocado room at Fox. We were happy it came out, and we at Fox had made a big push to get rankings because we knew as talking heads, we knew as commentators that we now have a jumping off point. We have something for controversy because anytime people are judging people, it's not going to be fair. Anytime something isn't fair, it creates controversy, and controversy creates one thing, which is cash. We were happy. It was never meant to be a way for fighters to hide out, for fighters to avoid doing something. It's not highly publicized. Sports Illustrated has never even listed our rank. They've listed it for every sport there is. They haven't listed ours. But the fighters ended up getting these rankings. They knew where to go. They knew what .com, and then somehow it meant something to them. There's never been a sponsor, just so you understand, where you get paid more money if you have a ranking. There's never been a pay-per-view where you get a higher participation point because when I tell you the rankings don't matter, I want that to be an absolute. It's not. It's a good place to start. I want it to be an absolute. I want it to be an absolute because the fighters have corrupted it. It was never meant to be an ability to get out of things. Now Paddy's about, I'm going to eat donuts because I don't have a guy that's got a number next to him. You know the guy got the number next to his name? Somebody or some group of bodies who have never been named and never will at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning at an undisclosed location choose. Does that sound like anything that you would want to base your life around? Does that sound like anything that you would ever want to count on? Does that sound like anything that you should take as official or serious? It's an interesting question. When I grew up, football through college was done something called the BCS, but the BCS was a computer program. And it had an algorithm that nobody fully understood. And you'd have, was it Auburn or Tulane? It was some university that you hadn't heard of a whole bunch, but boy, they've been undefeated for like 3 years. Now, they were never national champions. They weren't selling their t-shirts. It was a school that not only had I not heard of them, I can't produce the name. Was it Tulane? Do you guys remember this? Is there even a school called Tulane? A school called Auburn? They went years undefeated. Years. Like 4 out of 6 years. They never won a national championship. Whatever it was within the algorithm, teams that did lose would be champion, while these guys were left out because they didn't understand the algorithm. It had to do with who you played. It had to do where they were ranked the day that you played. It had to do with the scores that you have. Nobody could explain it to you because it was a bunch of garbage. Then one day the computer gets beat and they put 2 teams out. We have all agreed we're going to give a national championship, tens of millions of dollars, to whatever university a program kicks out. The program had a jam and they put 2 names out. It was Nebraska and somebody else, co-champions. Doesn't work. That is a term that is exclusive, mutually exclusive. You cannot coincide with co-champions. It's an oxymoron. I happen to be in Nebraska. It's the only reason I remember this. It's the only reason I know the year, 1998. Nebraska lit up. The celebrations were in the street. I was out there with my wrestling team. We had one heck of a good time just being part of the celebration that Nebraska was having. Now, that was going on somewhere else in the country, too, because somebody else was also the national champion. That is garbage. That is rotten garbage to the highest of levels. They accepted it. Stunningly. And so did all of the other teams, including the undefeated Tulane, whatever. They all accepted it. That's silly and that's laughable, but now we have guys doing that with an MMA. Paddy is going to control his diet based on a ranking put out by people or persons unnamed in an undisclosed location at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday mornings. That's weird, and that needs to stop.